it's not really stroking it. You're trying to create an effect of stroke, but it's not really a stroke, it's a fill. So to do this, I'm going to need my fresh layer and my path. Control click on the path. One more time here. Now I'm not able to select it for whatever reason, and I'll try it again. I think I was hitting the Option key. I don't know. There it is. Okay. So fill path. Fill path is hidden. This is the only place that you can find it by control clicking on this line. Fill path. There's the fill path dialog box. Make sure the script checkbox is clicked and place along path is selected. And click OK, and it will open up the place along path dialog box, showing you a path that, well, is not the path that I have. My path is more like a U shape, and this is going more vertically with a slight curve, and mine's much more steep. It's really difficult to tell what this is going to look like when it's applied to this, but I can adjust the scale of the pattern, making the tiles or the elements bigger or smaller, and the spacing between them, increasing or decreasing that spacing. If I do increase spacing, adjust spacing to fit, that still may or may not fit. Angle from path changes the angle they're flying in. Distance seems to help get the whole birds in there. By creating more distance from the path, it seems like the right wing is getting cut off less. And the scale of the progression, meaning how similar do you want them as they progress, or do you want them to get larger as they progress, or do you want them to do the opposite, get smaller as they progress? So I want something like that. Color randomness, I can make it very random, very bright, and bring it down to something more reasonable, have no color randomness, and brightness randomness. Maybe I don't want brightness randomness at all, or a lot of brightness randomness. Okay, there it is. There's no way to save these settings. You could write them down in your notebook or take a screenshot if you want to remember what you did. And I get this, which is not great. But if I look at all of the different variances that I have on these different layers, you can see each time I adjusted the path and adjusted the settings, I'm getting a certain amount of birds, more or less birds. So my point is that you are going to have to play with it. You may find that you want to, once you get a couple of these going, end up copying and pasting some of these. But the main point here is, as you adjust the path direction and the length of the path, you'll see different amounts of birds. The smoother the path, and I think the more gradual it is, seems to produce, at least in this case, a little bit better of an effect. And then it's again control click. I adjusted the line, fill path, click OK. These would be the last settings. I think they could be further apart, so I'll space them open a little bit more. That's from the line. This is from the path. Alternating patterns means crossing the line. It doesn't seem to be doing that at all on my computer. I guess it's giving them more space in between. And click OK. So in some of these, it's still chopping off. So it doesn't love that angle. If I undo this, bring this line in, control click again, use those same settings. As I move the line, what gets filled is greater or lesser. So it's not a perfect science. I think it's also a good idea to have fewer points and flatter curves. So I'm going to stop after this one and let you guys do what you want to do for another minute, and then we're going to move on to critiquing work and designing pages. Please let me know if you have any questions. Gesundheit. So press the control key. It's not stroke path, it's stroke path. And then script. And then pick along here. It's place along path. Place